Thanks for coming back, Andrew. Just to kind of catch up with what we've been talking about for the past few weeks. When we ended last session, we were getting ready to start working on some agenda mapping and making a plan, kind of to work on some of the manageable goals that you've mentioned, especially about school, weight loss, and exercise. How's that sound?
Sounds right.
So let's just touch base a little bit with that. How's that been going the past week?
It's been. It hasn't been. No, fine. It hasn't been horrible. It hasn't been the best either. I mean, I would kind of like say a steady 5 there, like a balance scale. There's been a few times this week where I've been really great about like noticing what I've been eating and being able to help myself and not eat the cookies and that kind of stuff. But then other times I have eaten the cookies. So it's been in the middle. School actually this week has gone very well, probably the best it's been in a long time, because I'm actually, for some reason, for the first time I think ever, on top of all my homework, which doesn't happen for me. Not on top of all the reading, but baby steps. And gym, I wasn't able to go to the gym at all last week, so that's one part I wasn't able to do. However, I did at least get to go on one hike. So, I mean, it wasn't a lot, but I mean, anything would help. It was about an hour-long hike through, some rocky hills, so it was, even though it was only like 1.5 miles, it still felt a lot more. So
seems like you were able to get some of the goals that you wanted to tackle at least addressed a little bit, and there were also some roadblocks along the way in terms of some of the things that you wanted to accomplish.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't horrible. Like, I don't like hate myself this week, but obviously there's some things that I for sure need to address and change and find ways around it.
Seems like progress is starting to happen. It can be frustrating sometimes when it doesn't happen quite as fast as we want it to.
Right. I'm definitely feeling that frustration. Being prepared for it, at least talking with you, and like, I know it wasn't going to happen overnight, but it just, you still want to do it. It's extremely frustrating that I can't just flip the switch and it'll be all better.
And sometimes it'd be nice if a miracle happened overnight,
right?
And
for sure,
everything was changed. So if a miracle did happen overnight, you just woke up, what would be the first thing that you notice would change?
My clothes wouldn't fit. They'd be a lot bigger. So that would be extremely nice. Would actually just be able to wake up with a lot of energy, not feel like sluggish and lethargic, and not just feel weighed down. Be completely caught up on schoolwork. Those would be the first things I would notice, like right away. Like, I would, because at least for me in the morning, I'll notice like that little things. But as the day progressed, I think I would notice like eating habit would change. I wouldn't even have to worry about cookies and cakes and that kind of stuff. I just wouldn't want it. Just wouldn't need it. I'd be more drawn to green leafy things, which is not so fun. But
seems like these are things that you really value in terms of how they match up with your goals. The weight loss, changes in your appearance, changes in your dietary habits. And there's been some progress towards those.
Little progress, but some progress.
So considering some of the things that you talked about in the miracle scenario, you'd mentioned your clothes not fitting and having a lot more energy and not having those cravings for the sweets. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important are those changes?
I would go with 8 was the first one that came to mind, so let's stick with 8.
Okay. Now, does that 8 describe all of those, or does it describe one specifically?
And that's what I think I was starting to try to think about. For sure, I would say kind of groups it together. So like the school one is not as it's very important, but these other two are kind of taking this. So in terms of like energy and weight loss, I in my head at least connect those together. So I think that would be the 8. schoolwork and like being caught up and stuff, that'd be nice, but it's not. It'd be that probably take a 5.
It sounds like the weight loss and the energy are pretty linked to making progress and everything else. And it's a big priority for you, probably the top priority, right?
Yeah.
Now moving forward, working in the plan, kind of like we've been talking about in the past few weeks. Looking into the upcoming few weeks and months, how do those changes look like for you?
Like, what do you mean? How they look like? How?
So, in considering some of the changes that you want to have in weight loss and the changes that you want to have in increasing your energy levels and how that can affect your day-to-day life.
Okay.
How do those changes look like? Say that we just skip to 5 months from now.
Okay. So like 5 months from now, the changes would, because again, like those two are kind of linked for me. So it would just be, I would have lost a significant amount of weight. It doesn't have to be all the weight that I want to lose, just a chunk. And just by that doing so, like I know I would, because I have lost weight in the past, and I know the feeling of like having that more energy. So I would have that feeling of more energy again. So it would, I mean, in technicality, you could probably tie it all together with even that being with school, because that probably give me more energy to do schoolwork and that kind of stuff. So it would be as tired of classes.
So moving forward, especially working in, starting to put some work into that plan that we've been talking. How do you feel about beginning to address your top priority?
I mean, I feel pretty good about it. Still really scared about it, but I'm still ready to at least start exploring some ways to start doing it.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of the ways that you've been, at least thinking about going about it?
Sure. I mean, right now it's been a lot of like monitoring what I eat. Right. Again, when I lost a significant amount of weight before, it was calorie counting, so I track everything I ate. And again, that idea of going to the gym more and trying to like, and not necessarily even the gym, just doing more active activities and even going for a walk. So it's just little changes. Like I haven't been trying to be, because I know I've been a yo-yo diver for a long time. So it was one of those things that I feel that it would, like I put a lot of effort into it and they failed multiple times. So like I know not to make these big steps. So I've been trying to make smaller ones.
Sounds like you know what hasn't worked in the past before, and it sounds like you have a pretty good understanding of the things that you're capable of accomplishing, and also how to go about them, because they have worked in the past before. So in considering these things that, the strategies that you've used in the past before to manage, to work on weight loss and addressing, like eating habits and exercise, what's worked in the past?
The same as Harry said.
And how would you like to implement some of those things into the plan that we're going to be working towards in the next few weeks?
Again, trying to go back to it more and potentially connect it to because I do have a more of a social aspect as well, that trying to put those in more line with values.
So, if you had to pick one thing for us to begin addressing, especially for next week, what would it be?
Probably trying to write out a plan and actually connect it more to the values, making sure that everything lines up, and just, having that more written out would probably help.
Okay, well, fortunately we have a pen and paper here. How would you feel about writing out 3 goals that you want to accomplish for next week?
Okay.
So go ahead and write them down. So before we talk about them and read them out loud, how confident do you feel? You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel about tackling these next week?
About a 5.
A 5? Okay. Now go ahead and read them out loud to me.
Do an exercise plan,
Mm-hmm.
plan meals for a week, and then try to find some way to incorporate the social aspect to it.
And all of these things, as you mentioned before, they're things that you've been able to do in the past. You know, so I think they're fantastic goals that are very, very much achievable. You know, especially considering some of the things that we've talked about. Now that you've read them out loud, how confident do you feel?
Still about the same.
Okay. Okay. And what are some things that affect that confidence? Yeah.
I mean, just a lot. So that's just a lot of it to do in 1 week and just jump right in. So
It sounds a little bit overwhelming to tackle multiple things at once. So if you had to rank these in order of importance, which one would you say is the most important?
Probably an exercise plan.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're written in order, so.
Okay, excellent. So moving forward to next week, why don't we begin to start working on an exercise plan that can be incorporated into your daily schedule.
Sounds good.
All right, excellent.